Hey, how's it going everybody? Welcome back to 2A News Now. And if you're new to the channel, my name is Troy. And here at 2A News Now, you get your Second Amendment news, straightforward and to the point with no BS added in. A California sheriff rips Governor Newsom a new one over gun control. We all know that California is a gun grabber's paradise. They've got all kinds of gun control laws, everything anti-gunners want on a federal level, and a whole host of measures. Thank goodness will never see the light of day in Washington, D.C. Governor Gavin Newsom even realizes this, which is why his proposed constitutional amendment only seeks to codify a handful of anti-gun laws into our Constitution, apparently not realizing it's a de facto admission that those measures aren't constitutional as things currently stand. But Newsom's anti-gun efforts aren't universally loved in California either, especially Newsom's carry restrictions that are currently at the heart of a legal challenge. In a recent interview with Fox News, Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco, who was concerned about the surge in crime, said he was relieved that the court blocked most recent effort on gun control laws. The fact about everything we're doing, taking away the gun rights and the ownership and the carrying of concealed weapons aspect of the whole thing, where you're going to carry and where you can't, it flies in the face of what they do with criminals. The sheriff went on to say, they have a very pro-criminal stance in California, and they have for years. All of the laws. Newsom's goal is to close as many prisons as he can, to not prosecute and not sentence anyone to state prison. He said they blame law enforcement, so there's never a personal responsibility on someone's criminal behavior. It's always someone else's fault. And Sheriff Bianco isn't wrong either. Obviously, we're all biased. We don't favor gun control in any form, especially like California is trying to do, a way where the lawful carry of firearms becomes so impractical as to be non-existent. Yet the criminal element in California has really never bothered with things like laws. We know this definitively because California has always had restrictive gun laws, particularly around things like concealed carry. Your average person couldn't get a permit in many places in the state, but criminals were never bothered by that fact. They carried guns regardless of the laws in place. Couple that with criminal justice reform efforts that seem to basically boil down to prosecuting as few people as possible, even for crimes where there are victims. And what you have is a recipe for disaster, which the state seems to be experiencing for a long time now. The idea of disarming law-abiding citizens will somehow result in criminal disarmament is one of the most bizarre notions anti-gunners have ever come up with, and yet it persists year after year. California is prime example of how little that actually accomplishes, but they continue to delude themselves into believing this to be the case. Sheriff Bianco called it, and since he's the sheriff in a county with nearly 2.5 million residents, and we know that more people tends to correlate with more support for gun control, this could be signaling a shift in how the Golden State views things. It's doubtful that California is about to turn pro-gun. We might start to see a great deal of more pushback on the idea of infringing still further on the people's Second Amendment rights. If so, it's about time. It's fantastic that Sheriff Bianco let his feelings be known to everyone. And we've heard this from sheriffs in California before. And I'm sure there's even more that think that way. But they don't have the guts that Sheriff Bianco has to say it for everybody to hear. There needs to be more sheriffs like this, not only in California, but all across the country. They were sworn to uphold the Constitution. And if they don't uphold the Constitution, they need to be voted out of office. As always, I would really like to hear your thoughts about today's video in the comments section down below. And if you guys would like to help the channel out and help it to continue to grow, please just take a few seconds of your time to like, share, and subscribe and hit those post notifications. And I invite everybody back to watch my next video.